Hello. Hello, my friend. How you doing? I'm still kind of setting things up, so... So, hello. Things are gonna be awkwardly quiet because my ad blocker's not working. Oof. I tried to get it set up earlier, but it just was not working, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't care anymore. You're sitting with me. Hello. I did color this off stream when I finished the drawing because I knew it was going to take long and I kind of want to just finish this. I drew myself like a twist character or something. Had fun with it because I used this design, this outfit for this. And now we're going to be adding all the fancy little coloring and stuff. I did make some small changes from yesterday's because I added more hair clips. I might change the color of those. And I added this little patch. Looks like the Hydra from the movie. So yeah, that's what we doing now. I need like an image from the game or the character art as like a reference for how to do a little bit of the shading and whatnot. So I'm going to struggle to figure that out because I don't really know how to... Don't know the process here. But we figure it out as we go along. That's not the right color. Nor is that. Hello! We doing the fancy stuff today. We fancy today. I've added a few things since yesterday. My first hello did not send. Oof. Oof, man. Oof. I will be awkwardly commenting on what I am doing in the moment. Because I don't have music to fill out the awkward silence. I wasn't waiting. Oh. Now everybody's here. Uh-huh. Good morning. Hope you are well. I know I had 2 streams streak of being away, but I intended to change that. Hope you're doing well. Honestly, this is one of the best masterpieces yet. Oh, hello. Thank you, Marcus. Welcome back. It's okay if you're not here all the time. I respect that. I understand. Very respectful of me here. We don't need music. I mostly need it because I feel like I just sometimes I'm so tired and it's awkward, but I'm just kind of sitting here just like, like forgetting what to talk about. Although I did kind of take a mental note, like, hey, maybe I'm going to talk about what I've started playing, or what I've been playing recently, and I finally started Devil May Cry 3 because I could not finish 2. The controls are so bad in 2. 3 feels so refreshing. You are welcome. Great to be back. I still viewed and liked for the algorithm though while I was away. What's your OC inspired by? What movie, I mean? Okay, this is just my model, my character design as like an Ignihyde character. I just slapped on the little Hydra as like a little patch on here, and then I have like these 2 extra hair clips that kind of look like pottery. Final boss in 2 was BS. I don't even think I'm at the final boss yet, but I'm struggling. I'm still in like the first phase, I think, of that fight, and I'm just like, I hate this. I hate this so much. I am struggling. I can't even get too close to the thing or I die instantly. So I just skipped to number 3. I'm just like, you know what? I'll come back to this later. I am in pain. I'd be trying up in here. When you try your best and you don't succeed. Looks pretty, thank you. I love making things pretty. I like pretty things. I don't know, I was thinking tomorrow maybe OC drawings, because I don't know. I didn't have anything planned tomorrow anyway. Loki, I think Ambi in human form would work perfectly as a citizen of the grid if you wanted to get more lore of your OC. That could probably work. But like, this is just based off of my character model, so I don't really have any solid stuff. This was just for fun. I might throw this PNG into my Twitter banner because I have just a bunch of versions of myself on my banner. For Twitter. And I kind of don't remember much about Tron. I only saw the first movie. I haven't seen Legacy yet. I should watch that because I did kind of like the first one. And the ride is actually pretty fun. I love it when a high-speed roller coaster doesn't give me pain. New version. Yeah, I kind of just like how my banner is just, I keep adding myself to it. It's funny. There's just so many different versions of myself. It's hilarious. Including the original design, which is what takes up a majority of the image if you haven't seen it. Majority of the image is just my old design. But I threw in the new one in there too. There's a few versions of the new one in there. And then a cute little symbol my friend made that I haven't really used for anything. But like, I kind of want to make a design based off of it because it looks fun. Because like, we took one of them like, what, character trope are you kind of quiz thing, and I got a gesture. Like, if I was a character in a story, my role would be like that of a jester character. So one of my friends just made little symbols for us based off of that. I haven't really done anything with it though. I want to. I had OCs based off Moana and Wish. Ooh. I feel so bad for everybody that worked on Wish because it could have been so much better than what it was. I like giving things a chance, but ooh, it's always sad. When it's like, ugh, I see what was supposed to be going on here. Is the character model you have, the one with your OC is based on, supposed to be what you canonically look like when not a werewolf? Yes. Yes, there's some slight color differences between the two, actually. Like, this one has more of like an orangey ginger hair color than the other design, and darker green eyes. The other one has more like bright, in-your-face green. I'm more for the subtle differences. And I made villains couple for Wish. Yes! I wish they fought to get that idea to, like, come through, because that would have been so good. I feel like it would have helped with whatever the main messaging of the story was, if both rulers were still in the bad. Could have had a romance, could have had a powerful villain couple. Instead, we got whatever the final product was, where Asha is, in fact, the villain. Yeah, I'm still so upset that they did not have a Star Boy. I would have even settled for, like, a compromise where, like, oh yeah, he kind of starts off as, like, the star, but then he's like, oh, here's my true form, I am free of a curse or whatever. Like, I would have accepted that. Even without them being, like, romantic. Like, I would have just accepted the star being an actual character. Cause then you could still sell marketable plushies of the star form, and then, oh, he's also a real boy. I would have been so much more happy with that. Did you see that some fans actually made a fan-made villain song for the King and Queen? I did not see that. I've seen a few, like, fan animatics for that one song. That sounds awkwardly like it's supposed to be a romance duet, but it's like not in the actual final product of the movie. I've seen stuff for that. I saw that. It's a good song. I need to see what that one is. I'll find it later. But yeah, I feel like also the movie would have benefited better if they did just cut that song, because that's such an awkward duet. It's like, I get what they were trying to do with it though. It's just trying to show like, oh, Asha's viewpoint and Magnifico's viewpoint are two different viewpoints of what they mean by wanting to protect things, but it's just so awkward. I like why add that. Why add the duet? It's so weird having it be the King and Asha. But now we know the origins of the magic mirror. I feel like some things are best left unknown. Magic mirror is just magic mirror, you know? Honestly, if it was written better, I would have accepted the origins of the mirror. Because, like, you know, I do like the idea of some poor soul being trapped in that thing, kind of doomed to for eternity to just be this entity of, like, all-knowing whatever's. Also, Asha Fairy Godmother? No. No. Yeah, that is weird. I had a feeling they were gonna do that, which is weird. It's like, it's gonna be origin of the Blue Fairy or origin of, like, Fairy Godmother, and I was like, dang it, I knew they were gonna try and do that. It's just so awkward. It's just so awkward. Once you put that pressure on it being like the origin of like the wishing star or whatever, you set some expectations where it's just like, oof. If you fall on your face, then it's like, ooh, that was bad. Magnifico could have trapped the Star Boy in his star form because he was the prince of all the wishing stars, so he wanted to capture him to enforce his view about wishes until Asha saves him. Yeah, that would have been strong too. That sounds like a stronger plot. I blame corporate out of touch executives for why movies suck. Because all they focus on is like numbers and patterns and focus group testing, but like that's not how human brains work, unfortunately. That's just not how brains work. Because eventually people are gonna be like, this movie sucks. And then tell people not to watch it. So it's like, you know, just shoot yourself in the foot. Though the grandfather singing When You Wish Upon a Star is good. Yeah. It's like there's stuff that could have worked so much better if they actually had a better story. But obviously the corporate changes or whatever and just plot changes that keep happening in the middle of production usually make movies that aren't that great. Like, as much as I kind of like talking about, like, Black Cauldron sometimes, it's not that good of a movie. Because, again, a lot of corporate back and forth problems were, like, making that thing struggle. It's like the story of its production is more interesting than the final product. And I feel the same thing about Wish. It's like the story of its conception is a little bit more interesting than what happened to the final product. Not just executive, but the actors too. Have you seen how many of them don't hold their tongue when they should have? Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler, for instance. I think Gal's comments did come out a little bit before the movie was announced, but I'm not sure. But yeah, having two opposite extremes of people who the general public do not like their opinions is a bad recipe for a movie. The Horn King deserves better. Yes, he does. Because he's also a very cool designed villain, and it's just, he's not very well utilized. Black Cauldron could have been worse. It could have been live action Death Note and Cowboy Bebop. Oof. That's why I based my Overblot over the Horn King. I have a friend who has a Horn King based twist character as well. We made some funny little Master Chef outfits for them for our twist OCs. And we had this running joke about, that's where the running joke of my character living in your walls comes from. He's living in your walls, stealing all the food from your fridge at 3 a.m. He a hungry boy. Oh, I made an Atlantis event OC. Ooh, that would be fun. We need an Atlantis event in Twist. Black Cauldron and its source material in general deserve better. It's good for what the time period at Disney was, but relatively speaking, it wasn't up to standards. Yeah. Like, it came out around, like, the 80s when, like, the dark fantasy for kids was kind of reaching its oversaturation point anyway. So I feel like not only was it kind of in a sea of just oversaturated genre, it was also just, like, they don't want to push the line too hard about, like, how scary it is. Or at least the tone that the movie kind of is. It was an awkward era, that's for sure. Although Great Mouse Detective is very good. If you've never watched that, you should watch it. It's actually really good. And it was like, it came out right before Little Mermaid, so the quality is actually like very good for that movie. You do swim, do you not? With Kita and you. Aw. The Brave Little Toaster, though, for as popular as it is online, I feel like Disney forgot about it even before the turn of the century. Yeah, I feel like, isn't that also technically like Pixar? Which is also extra awkward. Because it's like, yeah, it's technically Disney Pixar at this point, but it's like forgotten. I've never actually seen the whole thing, but I do know a little bit about it. Ironically, I think the messaging in the movie actually still holds up pretty decently, despite how outdated it is. Awkwardly still holds up. Reminder, the Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars exists. Yeah. That does exist. I'm more fascinated by the idea of like who came up with this idea? Like how does it work? Why did you want to send the toaster and his friends to Mars? Like what was the writing room environment like for this? Like that's what I'm more fascinated by. Like how did you concoct the story? I'm curious. What was your mindset at the moment? I don't think Brave Little Toaster was Pixar. I thought it was a company that even today is unrelated to Disney, the first one anyway. There also Mars Needs Moms. Oh, Mars Needs Moms. I remember I watched that. I didn't watch that in theaters. I think somebody just put it on at their house or something. That was ugly. Like story-wise, mediocre. Visuals, that was horrendous. The visuals do not help. I also need a Mulan event or Mary Poppins. Yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, Brave Little Toaster and all its stories, including Mars, wasn't originally a Disney idea. All of them were originally books that got adapted. Yeah, I am familiar with that. But I think the studio is still Pixar before the jump to 3D, I think. Or at least people who were working on that movie were like important to Pixar. I don't remember. I just know it has like a connection to Pixar from like the early years. I don't care if it was live action. John Carter deserved better, as did the Lone Ranger. Yeah. I have no confidence in Pirates of the Caribbean if they're actually going to go through with remaking that. I have no confidence in it. I'm sorry, just leave it alone, let it be. You cannot recapture the amazingness that was the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Just leave it alone, let it be. Those movies were actually good. I know of Pixar, but Inside Out even. I am curious if Twist will ever delve into Disney Pixar. Because I think they have, like, references to it in the game, but nothing really solid. I think it's mostly focusing on Disney animation from, like, 2012 and back. And Tangled. I think Tangled came out around 2012. Or Lady and the Tramp. Also, do you know what the new event is called? Eternity Float, I think. Something like that. I know the word eternity is in the new Twisted Wonderland event. And I do think it has something to do with a wedding. Because again, I think, like, around this time of year... No, I think that's June. I think June is when they have, like, a bunch of bride events and a lot of gotcha games. How can you remake Pirates without Johnny Depp? It's like Looney Tunes without Mel Blanc. Yeah. You can't recapture that. Even if you have Johnny Depp as like a cameo character, just nah. The charm of the movie is that it's like from that era. You can't really recapture that. No, Tangled was 2010. Okay, yeah. I think in general, because like I know 2012 was like the last time they had a 2D animated movie, and that was Winnie the Pooh. And I think that's what all the Twist characters and events are pulling from, like from 2012 and then the Snow White and beyond, pretty much. Like from the beginning of Disney to 2012, pretty much is where they're pulling characters from. As far as I can tell. Nothing too recent, other than just live-action movie promotions. There's also the Aristocats. Winnie the Pooh was 2011. I just know that it was the last 2D animated movie. And then from then onward, there was some just 2D snuck into like Mary Poppins or whatever. That remake. Well, sequel actually. It was like a weird cross between like a sequel and like a reboot. Like it was okay. It wasn't horrendous, but it was okay. I think my aunt really wanted to see that, and she was kind of like, I didn't like it. I'm like, oh. Or Jungle Book event? Rescuers event? Sword in the Stone? Pocahontas even? I'm looking up Disney movies. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of movies to pull events for, that's for sure. And like, we're not even done with like hometown events even. Because I think the current one is technically a Coral Seas home event. Technically. But I don't think it has anything to do with like the actual Coral Sea environment or something. I don't know. We have to wait for that one. Zootopia, Wreck-It Ralph. There was also Once Upon a Studio, and I think Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers too. Yeah, the Once Upon a Studio was like very recent, and it was like made for the anniversary. Although, speaking of that short, I did see something on the internet where one of the animators who was working on it shared like a storyboard of like a little cut scene that involved Yzma. Yzma giving like a wink to Hercules, and he's like awkward and like ew. Like ew. Don't look at me. I forget exactly what it is, but like if I find it, I'll probably reshare that or something. That was funny. Like why didn't you leave it in? Because it had like, you could see Jim more too in that little cut scene, and it's like, come on, I would have just liked it for more Jim, just there in the shot. Not just movies, but television shows too. Gargoyles would fit right in. Oh, Malleus does love his gargoyles. That would be so funny, because we already technically kind of had Malleus interacting with gargoyles in the Halloween for Hunchback of Notre Dame themed event. And that was so funny. He was like so starstruck that like a gargoyle was talking to him. We need to see the Ashen Grotto and Leech family. Yes. Yes, we do. I'm hoping that's what the Coral Sea event is. I'm hoping it's like, I don't know, Jade's parents renewing their vows or something. And Floyd's like, nah, I don't want to go. It sounds boring. Or like he's there, but he doesn't get a fancy outfit. Like, I'm fine with that. Or maybe Strange World, Peter Pan, Robin Hood, Monsters Inc. Did you see the anniversary stuff they did for a Goofy movie or the trailer for a Goofy movie documentary? I heard that they were making a documentary for the movie. Man, I like a Goofy movie. I wish there was more Disney movies where it is just Mickey and Friends, kind of. Because those were usually some of the funnier, interesting movies. At least a Goofy movie. That was actually really interesting. Because I know that there was like a show for Goofy in the 90s. And that's kind of where that movie kind of comes from. Maybe an Epic Mickey event too, since I'm pretty sure that's the version of Mickey in the game. Yeah, technically, because I think the version of Mickey in Epic Mickey is supposed to be from the Looking Glass short. And that's what the Mickey in Twisted Wonderland is looking like he pulls from. Like, the classic era Mickey, but like in color. I know I know it's Pixar, but Coco event. Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be so fun. Especially if they want to pad out this game's existence after main story. Because I'm still sure that there's going to be more main story coming up eventually. It's not over yet. Like, they have a lot of things to do in the meantime. Yeah, that show was Goof Troop and a Goofy movie, and its sequel are sequels to it. Yeah, I figured. I figured as much. I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, one of my favorite Disney movies was the Mickey Mouse Three Musketeers. There's just something about that movie that it's like, we'll never get anything this good again. It's so good. Like, why did they go off so hard with this movie? And I think it was like straight to DVD too. Like, they didn't even put that in theaters, but like, I would have loved to see that one in theaters. I don't know if they actually did or not. But that movie was so funny. It has like the best writing for the characters. Next to those Mickey shorts from like Disney Channel or whatever, I forget what year those ones came out, but it's the Chaotic Mickey, as I like to call him. At least that was at least what we lack in Mickey and Friends movies, Disney kind of made up for with the 2D Mickey specials. Yeah, those ones. I thought the Three Musketeers was in theaters. I don't know. I just remember I had it on DVD. And whatever, like, I had, like, sleepovers or whatever. That was the movie we'd be putting on at some point in the night. Like, it's just so funny. There's so many good gags. Like, every time they were talking about, like, the opera. Or like Goofy's like really stupid like plan or whatever with in the lighthouse. Like his brain is working overtime doing like math and calculations. Everybody's like, how does this work? It's got strong writing, man. Daisy was the best part of the Three Musketeers, yeah. Indeed. And Pete. He was funny throughout that movie. He was a good villain for that movie. It's just so cartoony. I loved it. Also, Pete finally got his villain debut on the feature-length side, though not as evil as in Prince and the Pauper. I mean, he was originally created to be a villain, but he's flip-flopped between like serious villain and like cartoony antagonistic a kind of character that's sometimes on their side. You want love by a dog. Also, those 2D Mickey shorts from like, I don't know, I don't remember what year they came out, but I still think they're funny. Potato Land lives rent free in my head for some reason. Potato Land! Also, in the early days, Pete was Mr. Steelio Girl toward Minnie. He kind of still kept that vibe in the Three Musketeers, but it was more like, I'm stealing her because I want to be the king of Paris. There's more of a reason besides just, I'm gonna take your girlfriend, she's mine now. Which I think is better for his character anyway. Whenever you need some sort of silly little antagonist for like a movie, just throw in Pete. Yodelberg is the best Mickey Mouse 2013 short. I do remember that one. Now, I like how successful those cartoons were because they made like a full-on ride for it. For that incarnation of Mickey Mouse. And it's actually funny. I've been on it a few times, it's actually funny. Mortimer Mouse deserves more love. Well, we didn't... Well, we did the exact thing you said to do and dropped the princess on the safe! Mortimer Mouse. I didn't say drop a safe, I said keep her safe. Drop a safe on the princess. Also, apparently the Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railway was the last thing Russie Taylor ever did as Minnie. Aww. And now the voice lives on. For however long that ride's gonna last. It's really popular. And getting on that thing takes forever because there's always so many people there. But it is worth it because it is a funny little ride. But isn't it a feature for Disney attractions to take forever to get on? Yeah, for some rides. Some not so much because they're not as popular. But some it's like you gotta wait. And some it's like, Oh, we have this full-on system that's basically wait your turn. I was never able to ride Guardians of the Galaxy because every time I tried, it gets filled up so fast when you try to book like your spot in line. I never got a chance. Tron wasn't that bad because like the popularity for it's kind of died down a bit to the point where I think they're eventually gonna like take it off of that service. But like Guardians of the Galaxy, never got on that one either. Like at least I got to try the Tron ride, even though it was like at night. But I think that was cooler, to be honest. Were you there for the Figment popcorn bucket or Genie Plus? I think I'm trying to remember. I think that was already a thing when I was there. Villains, bad guys running fear when they see the musketeers. Saving Minnie is our duty. Mess with her and we'll kick your ass. Indicate why they said their duty. I don't know. Some parents would find it offensive, I guess, but it was still kind of funny. I'm trying to remember, was I there for the popcorn bucket fiasco or not? Because I don't think I was. Or maybe I was. I know there was like some Figment stuff going on when I was there. I just can't remember what. No, I have to go. I don't know if I'll be back though. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you Thursday for whatever I decide to do. I don't know yet. All I remember working there was that time somebody punched a window at the place I was working in. I still don't understand the context of why that happened. But that's all I remember. And always having to tell people that no, we don't have the mango Dole Whip. That's somewhere else. We got orange here. But that's all I remember. and riding dinosaur with the lights on. Two times in a row. And then on the third time, the lights went off as soon as the ride ended. And it scared the people in front of me so bad. It's like, surprise, no lights anymore. Get eaten by a dinosaur. It's probably gonna sound kind of mean, but riding dinosaur and there's like kids on the ride is always kind of funny because sometimes it's like there's like a 50-50 chance that kid's gonna come off that ride crying. And the parents are just gonna be like, oh no. There's always like a 50-50 chance because it's either the kid loves dinosaurs or the kid just did not expect to get jump scared by dinosaurs. like, it just reminds me of when I was a small child and easily afraid of everything, and I'm just like, oh. It's so adorable, yet so traumatizing at the same time. I understand. But at the same time, it's funny. You'll look back on these memories fondly. Most likely, I hope so. Hmm. Let me see. I need to look at Ida's character art for a second. Hmm. I think I went a little too overboard with some of the shadowing. The I might finish this off stream as well because that jacket's gonna be kind of a pain to figure out how to work. I shade that. Because like I have some. If I turn this off, I do have like a layer specifically this, so that way I can color that properly later. Because if I did not have that, I'd probably struggle with the jacket. Turn that back on. And it's like I want to at least try to imitate the style as much as I can. It's a little tricky. Because that's usually not how I shade. Um, I might need to change the color on those layers. It's like a little too warm. maybe... Yeah, maybe this might work. Let me just change the color on that real quick. Yeah. I don't know. Let's go in. Oh, I'm messing with colors. Let me just... I need to see what I'm doing. Because that's a little too warm. That's better. What am I doing? Uh, I don't know what happened. That happens sometimes. I just get confused as to what layers I'm on. But what is that green? I don't want it to be green. Yeah, I'm thinking tomorrow maybe doing OC stuff. I kind of need to work on that. Not necessarily Twisted Wonderland OCs. I've created some interesting creatures lately. It's always fun creating new cursed abominations from time to time. Although, if anything, I might rework the shading on this, because I don't know. I'm trying to, like, reverse engineer the shading of the actual, like, character art. So I don't know how they do it. Beta is my reference here for coloring and shading. Again, I might rework this some other time. need to do something with the line art too. Because, like, the line art is not black throughout. I want to try and imitate that as well. Hopefully tomorrow ad blocker works again. Because I don't like drawing in silence all that often, it's awkward. I think I need this. I think I'm overthinking it a little bit. All that time and I got rid of some of my work, like, not fully. Like, I do want to add that, like, blue. There's, like, some atmospheric shading going on. Like, I want to try and do that with the shading. So when you really zoom in, it's kind of simple, but at the same time, it's like I don't know exactly how they pull this off. something funky going on, and I forgot the buckles to the shoes. Oh my gosh. At least to this foot, I forgot the buckles. Oof. I'll at them. I'll at them later. I'll finish this another day. I just think that's kind of funny that I forgot that. Oopsies. think I'll call it here for now. Surprisingly. Like, I don't know. It might take me a while to figure out how the shading works. So, that's it for now. Tomorrow's probably going to be a surprise because I don't feel like finishing this tomorrow. I might work on this one for the rest of the day just to see if I can finish it. Figure out how to shade it, because that's usually where I struggle a lot. Takes me a while to figure out how to shade things. So, bye-bye! Have a nice day! Drink water. Bye-bye.